What happens if a situation arises that you were unprepared for? A situation such as a blizzard, a tornado, or being locked down due to a virus. Put yourself in any possible situation that could arise. Now ask yourself, what would you do? Where would you go? What do you need? Are you ready? Because what if tomorrow?
Welcome to another episode, the first episode in a while, of What If Tomorrow. Tonight I have special guest Enzo Cyrille. Unfortunately, Phil is ill. Ooh, I did not mean to make that rhyme, but it works. Honestly, the place where we work is a petri dish right now. I know Phil's building has had flu A, flu B, RSV, and COVID all going through it simultaneously. So yeah, it's a wonder anybody is working right now. So he went home and was not feeling well. Hopefully maybe we'll catch him in the comments here later if he's feeling up to it. But if you are listening to this, Phil, I hope you get better soon. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. So as we get started, if reading the title, which I misspelled, sorry, I was typing too fast and the O and of disappeared. I'll edit it later. So we're going to talk a little bit about Venezuela, Greenland, and Iran, and we may throw in a little bit of Michigan talk. Not going to be a super long show. Hi, Tony. It's not going to be a super long show tonight. Well, it might be. You know, Enzo and I can really get it going sometimes. But there is a lot of stuff going on in the world that can affect you here in the United States. The possibility of, there is an increased terror alert right now, I believe. So those of you, especially in big cities, could be vulnerable to this. Preparedness isn't just tornadoes, shit hits the fan, whatever. It's for, keeping you and your family safe. And part of that is understanding what is going on in the world. And with that, we're going to get in on that and start talking about Venezuela. A lot of people on both sides of the fences. Hi, Jess. Have had a lot to say about Venezuela. A lot of people just plain don't understand why all this came to pass. So a little bit of history about Venezuela. At one point, they were the second or third largest economy in our hemisphere. They have the largest proven oil reserves in the world, even bigger than Saudi Arabia. Beautiful beaches, a year-round growing season. There is no reason for people to starve, and yet they have been starved for years, to the point where they were eating zoo animals, cats, and dogs. The lucky ones got to dumpster dive. It's just been a mess for years, and you've seen the clips of Venezuelans and Venezuelan expatriates celebrating in the streets, and even in Venezuela. For them, this is a good thing, and it's going to be a rough patch for months or years until we get things going. But don't think that this is a colony building or what have you by the Trump administration. It is totally not that. We do not need that problem. The Venezuelans, once they get to have an actual vote and select good leadership and things stabilize, they can be, once again, it will not take them long. In 10, 15 years, they will again be the second or third largest economy in this hemisphere. We've got oil reserves, jobs that go with those oil reserves, because if you don't think they're going to expand once the American companies that lost all this money, well, that's a lot. What was it? $38 billion Venezuela owned U.S. companies per court order. So that works out to be about 300 oil tankers worth of oil. And that doesn't even count all the infrastructure that was built with American money that Venezuela seized to produce oil. Where this oil was going is also a big issue with why things happened the way they did. Most of it was going to either China or Cuba. So this has stopped. So China is understandably quite upset that they're not getting this oil right now. And of course, this is devastating to Cuba. The Castro regime may finally fall, and those people may finally, come out from under the thumb of a communist dictator. So there's a lot of stuff going on to unpack. And have I missed anything, Enzo? I'm sure I have.
Not at all. Actually, you brushed by one of the things that surprised me the most, because we're so used to seeing the typical CIA-led infiltration and topple the government and then plant someone that we think might be good for us in the future, which the last couple of decades hasn't worked out good for anybody.
We need to have a good election.
Right, and that's Trump's approach is, hey, we got the lead guy out of there. You guys need to figure it out.
Yeah, they had a tourist economy that rivaled any tourist economy in the world. They had perfect beaches and perfect weather year round. So it's like Hawaii, only with more rum. And oil and no volcanoes.
Even like to kind of reflect back on some of our other shows that we do, I think they've got a lot of those hidden cities and stuff like that from the old Aztec cities and things like that.
There's a lot of architectural or archaeological sites there. Yeah, Tony, rum is my thing. So if I can throw it in there, I'm going to. There you go. I'm hitting the hard stuff today.
Hey.
Splash. So, but yeah, I mean that's basically what's going on in Venezuela. Everybody's losing their mind over it now, but nobody thought it was a bad idea when the Biden administration was discussing it. This is something that's been discussed by several presidents and during several regimes in Venezuela. Venezuela has just been a bad deal, and we're well shut of it. Yes, we're going to have to be responsible for them for probably the next 2 or 3 years. But they are capable of making enough money for pretty much full employment. It, honestly, might move there to retire if it goes the way I think it's going to go, because it's going to be beautiful.
When I was getting ready to retire myself out of the Air Force back in 2009, there was another friend of mine who was looking to get out around the same time frame, and the plan was we were going to go down to Central America, or northern part of South America rather, and start over down there, because your dollar goes way further there, and plus if you go down like with a military retirement where you're getting that money no matter what, unless the government of the United States falls, you're getting X amount of money every month. where you had like little villages kind of things where all the expats would live.
Hey, Phil. Philip's on tonight. I'm glad you got in on the chat. We really miss you. Hope you get to feeling better, buddy. I don't know if you heard me talking about the petri dish you're working in right now. Hopefully you didn't get anything too bad. According to my daughter, who works in that same building, there's been flu A, flu B, COVID, and RSV in your building. So respiratory respiratory symptom virus or something. I don't. Babies and old people usually get it, but adults can get it too.
Phil is patient 0, A, B, C, D, and E.
He'll have them all. I mean, and he'll give them to me or something. I don't know.
Wow.
But yeah, anyway, that's the basic rundown on Venezuela. It is not the big dire thing that they are painting it in the mainstream media. It just doesn't push their agenda, and that's why they really don't like it. Plus, stopping all the drug flow, all the fentanyl and all that stuff comes from down there. It's the largest cartel in the Americas. Was run by the military of Venezuela. So that's going to be a good thing for America, just getting that stuff off the streets. It's poison. It's killing our kids. And we don't need that. I just saw a new death like a couple weeks ago. Young girl, like 14, tried drugs for the first time, and it was laced with fentanyl, and she just died. And came from Venezuela. So, it's time to end that. And I really don't have a whole lot to
It was also a good poke in the eye to China and Russia as well.
Oh yeah, because they get a lot of oil from them.
Well, the day that they went in and nabbed Maduro, he had just hours before had extensive meetings with Chinese groups that were looking to come in and set up a factory for whatever it was they were wanting to do. It's like, I think that's on hold now, fellas. Sorry.
I think it's telling that they had top Russian and Chinese radar systems, and our planes flew in and they didn't see them.
Nope. Did you catch the one? I don't necessarily believe all of it, but there's a story out there of one of the survivors of the Maduro raid that said there was like 100 of them versus like 20 guys that came down speed ropes out of helicopters, and they couldn't even they put off some kind of a pulse thing, and they all started bleeding from their eyes and were violently ill and all of this stuff. And
is it possible? Yes, I believe that technology exists. Was it used? I don't know. If it was, I don't think there would have been any survivors.
Right. That was exactly my point. It's like, how is this guy able to report on all of this if he was in the middle of it? He's seeing all these people, his comrades on either side falling ill and all of that.
Yeah, so I don't think they would have left any survivors if we were using something like that.
Yeah, it's not something that you really recover from that well if you're in that kind of proximity to it. It's going to knock you down and cause bleeding from the eyes and or any other orifice. You're not going to be in a great shape to tell tall tales the next day.
Yeah, we know the technology exists. Did they use it? They might have. I don't think they would have left very many.
I guess, as I understand it, like all the power went out around there, which was a hack. They hacked the system and shut off all the power to the compound area and all that stuff. Sent our guys in with all their new whiz-bang night vision gear that is way better than anything that we're even thinking of. It's pretty advanced.
You'd be surprised what I can buy on freaking Temu. There's some pretty good crap on there. Just think about what actual top-notch night vision gear would do.
It's way beyond, the big giant goggles and all that look like binoculars on your face. No, it's nothing like that anymore.
Have you seen the newer ones that they're letting civilians use that look like just an oversized pair of sunglasses.
Yes.
It's pretty good technology, man. Pretty good technology. Phil once told us to check out Care Fentanyl. I have heard of it, and it is 100 times more potent than fentanyl. And they were pushing it out of there, and it is killing kids. So it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I think it'll shake out to be a good thing. I think we'll have a friend in the South. It's going to be a beautiful place to go vacation. There's going to be more jobs than you can imagine between the oil industry, the service industry, and the tourist industry. I think that they're going to be fine.
Yeah. Couple years, they're going to be great. Probably even less time than that, to be honest. But,
really, because the money's there.
Money's there. It's just sitting there, just wait. Which, because that's the one thing that's the only thing they were able to really do is to keep pumping that oil out and shuffling it away to whoever they could get to buy it.
Oh yeah, and all that money is mostly probably in gold and is sitting in Caracas banks under Maduro's name and his generals, most likely.
To comment on Able Airplane's thing about how the op is crazy. I was really genuinely shocked at how many people, like within 24 hours, like, wait a minute, these guys basically just strolled on there like it was no big thing, grabbed the president of this country, and then strolled right back out without anybody getting wounded or losing any aircraft or any of this stuff.
Yep.
Why weren't we doing that in Afghanistan and Iraq and all that stuff the last 20 plus years?
Hands tied.
Yes. So a lot of people started putting things together. It's like, wait a minute, these forever wars were all BS the entire time.
Yeah, we could end them a lot easier, especially when, like in Venezuela, there is no intention to stay long term. No, so they don't want a forever war. They want to get in, get out, give the people their country back, and have a new friend. And I think we've made friends.
Good friend and good neighbor.
Yep, good friend and good neighbor with lots of money that you and I will never see. Unless of course we start our own daycare.
Well, then we'll be making way more money than that crappy oil they're pulling out of the ground.
Right. So we just need to move to Minnesota and get old Tim to sign off on our grants, and we'll be rolling in money. And that's all I'm going to say about Minnesota. It's a shit show.
Wow. Yeah, that's
honestly, the corruption is unimaginable. Well, it's not unimaginable. Because human.
It's way worse than I thought.
Yeah, like, it is bad.
In the multi-billions worse than I thought. I was like, you're kidding me.
And if this is happening all over the country, which I suspect it possibly is, we're paying way too much in taxes.
I was about to say, do you know how many, how much less taxes, if none of that stuff existed, we would have to pay every year? And there's a lot of people genuinely pissed off about this stuff. And they're like, I'm going to refuse to pay my taxes.
There's a lot of people now. And that's a big movement right now. And that's something we will probably talk about on another show. But right now, I think I want to move on to Greenland. You want to talk about Greenland?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Greenland.
So there's been a lot of noise about annexing Greenland. And this could be a good thing or a bad thing. Obviously, the people of Greenland could care less about becoming Americans. About the same amount of people in Greenland could care less about remaining under the control of the Danish. What Greenland really, really wants, more than anything, is to be their own country and to set their own course. Unfortunately, they do not have the money or the population to defend themselves, and they are a prime target for invasion from Russia and China, because that is the door into the United States. That's airfields, that's oil reserves. everything they need to make our lives a living hell. You want to see what Fallout 4 really is like? It'll happen if Russia or China gets Greenland. I mean, just play the Fallout game and you'll see what's going to be. Yeah, there's Greenland, and it's right up there.
There's Greenland right there. Of course, there's the U.S.
It's just the shortcut between China, Russia, and the United States.
It really is. A lot of people don't really get myself a little bit more out of the way there. Yeah. We'll do this. I'll just go here.
Yeah, there you go.
But a lot of people don't realize, because you're used to looking at the flat map where everything's all stretched out and all that stuff. Yeah. Greenland's a pretty big place, but it's mostly desolate because it's way far north, and it just doesn't have like the proper infrastructure for a lot of things.
Right.
And that's actually been China's big thing the last like 20 years of going into remote places. It's like, hey, you know, backwoods country in Africa, we'll build the roads and infrastructure and all that stuff to get to these mines for this stuff that you have, and it'll be great. And then they basically end up charging them a bill at the end, which of course they can't pay. And then they're like, well, we'll just take all of it. And that's kind of been their scam that they've been doing kind of all over the third world the last 20 years, unabated. And with Greenland's location, what the actual plan is, I feel, is if the U.S. takes control, because Trump even said it, I think, yesterday on one of his plane meetings there, where he's talking to the press, that somebody's going to swoop in and grab it. If it's, grab Greenland, it's either going to be Russia, China, or the United States. For the United States, it would be a much better idea for them to take care of that too, because one of Trump's big things that he's wanting to do is that Golden Dome missile defense system idea, which if you look at, I don't know if you can, probably can't see my mouse on there, but with the location of Greenland here and Alaska up here, if you have an arrangement of missile interceptors up there, whether they be other missile or some kind of kinetic technology
or whatever,
lasers or whatever it is you want to imagine there. If you have a whole ring of those in Alaska and in Greenland,
you can cover half the world.
Yeah, there's nothing that Russia, evil Russia, is going to throw at us that's going to be an issue with that kind of defense system laid out.
I think Phil is going to hop on with us in just a moment, so that'd be great. So here's how I feel like it's probably going to pan out. I don't think there's going to be any military intervention unless something drastic happens. Greenland wants to be Greenland. They don't want to be part of the Dutch. They don't want that. They don't want to be Americans. They want to be Greenlanders. So fine. They don't have the population to support a military to protect them from Russia or China. So we would become an ally to them.
Sure.
The other thing I think that could happen would be kind of what Phil was alluding to here, if we were to buy it. And I really think that is what the Dutch are after. How much money can we fleece the stupid Americans for?
Right.
Because they are absolutely not going to kick us out of NATO.
No.
There's only one reason Americans need to understand why we will not be kicked out of NATO, is because all these countries in Europe who have all these fancy social programs that the leftists are always pointing at, they can do it, why can't we? The reason they can do it is because they have virtually useless militaries and depend 100% on the United States defending them. So they don't have to have the huge military budgets to defend themselves. They put it all into social programs to keep themselves in their jobs. So if they kicked us out of NATO, which I really totally think we should leave NATO anyway and just screw them all. I mean, to
Yeah,
hell with all
they're
this.
pretty much worthless without us anyway. We're like
What have they done
90%
for
of
us
everything.
lately except
Yeah.
give us a hard time? Screw them. We'll just jump off.
Well,
And
a
let
lot
'em
of a lot of this, of course, came up because Trump did the hardline thing a couple of days ago, where it's like, hey, we'll come in there. Military options are not off the table. But everyone keeps forgetting every time Trump speaks about something like this and says something crazy. He does that all the time. That's how he starts his negotiation, way up here with a really crazy sounding thing, but then comes down to something more normal. And whoever's on the other side of the table is like,
Oh, yeah,
oh,
let's do
God,
that."
he's acting like a normal person now. But he does. That's was in his book, Art of the Deal. Start off with the crazy, over the top thing that no one would ever say yes to, and then you come down, and that gives the impression that you're getting a deal when you come down.
Still, you're looking a little peaked still. You feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm not feeling great. I just wanted to jump on this conversation. Yeah, I'll be all right.
Oh, you sound like hell, buddy.
I just wanted to
Yeah,
jump
you
in
don't
on
sound
this
great.
conversation. Yeah,
It's a good conversation. I
it is.
I think I'm going to move a little further away from Phil so I don't get anything. But, move back over here to the United States.
But I really think that that's what they're
Well,
fishing for. I think they're fishing for a really good price because the United States has a history of buying land. We bought it from the French. We bought it from the Russians. I mean, we want it, we'll buy it. I mean, we got money. If we don't have enough money, we'll borrow it from China.
Yeah, that's strange how that works.
Yeah, it's funny. So I really think that that's probably where we're going to see this go. Either we're going to purchase it or we're going to talk Greenland into saying, hey, we will support your independence. We'll even pay a little bit of money, but we want a few concessions but we will defend you. You won't have to do anything.
I kind of see it as like basically making them like a U.S. territory, like Guam or
a self-ruled territory or something like that. I can see that, or like I said, they don't really have a huge population. Most cities in the United States have a bigger population than the entire country of Greenland.
Yeah.
Wichita, Kansas, I believe, has a larger population than Greenland.
Yeah, it is.
So
but I think giving us like a few other different bases, or even setting up like that, the Golden Dome thing, which would require infrastructure, that would require power, that would require roads, that would require, a lot of stuff, getting equipment and people in and out of there, which only helps
only helps
people
Greenland.
that are doing it. Yeah.
And they give Greenland the infrastructure to grow as a country should they choose their independence and want to become a country. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, they have amazingly, shockingly beautiful areas there that are very picturesque. Granted, it's really cold, but it's. I think I almost could see like, how much would you pay for like a wildlife thing where you have like a dome, a heated dome in there, and it's just got polar bears like right outside your window, kind of a thing. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Something else you might want to, that the listener might want to think about is AI, with all the rare earth minerals and things like that are going to be needed for the data centers and all that. If we don't acquire that, we're going to be at ends with everybody else. I was wanting to just chime in here for a second. My thoughts, regardless of whether you love him or hate him or somewhere in between, the president is a master strategist. If you look at what's happening right now with the EU, they're banding together. They may be coming against us. I don't think it'll come to warfare, but he's making them step up and do something for their own defense.
Yeah.
If you look at the number of treaties and all that that he's backed out of, he's like, no, we're not done. We're tired of footing a bill for this. You guys are going to have to step up. I think this is part of that same play. That's my opinion. I have nothing.
You're probably not wrong.
I agree with you.
Well, I mean, I talked about how Venezuela will probably cause the collapse of Cuba,
Yeah.
which is a hostile nation, a few-hour boat ride from Florida. So that's only a good thing. And those people, they don't live good lives there. Communist countries really are not pleasant to live in.
No.
Well,
They
almost
just didn't do it right. Our,
Right.
our
They're a
Minnesota friends, they know exactly how to do it.
they're a little more pleasant than a jihadist nation, but not a whole hell of a lot. So that's kind of a distinction there. But that's my take on Greenland. I think it's a lot of bluster. I think like you, I think they're trying to make a deal, but I think it's going to come down to one of two things. Greenland gets its independence and allies with the United States. Everybody gets what they want without having to pay for it. Or two, we buy Greenland for an ungodly amount of money and probably a percentage of the oil profits. That's
I
So-
agree.
my take on it.
Does that then make Greenland a 51st state? We need to change all of our flags, and then
Well, they don't want to be Americans. I would say make them an independent territory. Give them their freedom. Let them decide what they're going to do.
Yeah. And I agree. That's probably the direction it'll go. Where, like the U.S. Virgin Islands and Guam and places like that. They're technically kind of under the American flag, but they don't
Not
have like
really.
a voting thing, a block or anything like that. So
Yeah, and they run themselves. We
exactly.
don't. Yeah, so they would have self-determination and defense, and not really have to pay for it. So I think you could have the best of both worlds there, without anybody being pissed off. And Denmark is going to come out if they sell it. They're going to be able to pay for all their little social programs for the next 100 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and the only reason they can pay for them now is because we've taken over their defense.
Right. And $1 trillion, to me, that's worth it in the end.
Yeah, even if it was 10.
Yeah.
For the security of the whole northern hemisphere, yeah. Absolutely worth it.
I really think, I came in when I started watching, I came in on the tail end of you guys talking about Venezuela. And I'm not going back to that, but I really think we're watching the world being transformed.
I absolutely do. And I really want to get into that when we talk about Iran.
Yeah. Trump is basically saying, listen, you guys get away, because China's been running ramshackle over Venezuela, the Panama Canal, all of Central America, all that because they want bases in the area. You were just in Cuba, same thing. They're supporting them. All these communist nations trying to turn nations communist, all that. But I think Trump is like, nope, you're not playing in my backyard. It's time for you to go.
He's going after the money.
Right.
You cut the money, you cut the oil, you cut them off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Castro's regime will absolutely fall without oil.
Yeah, for sure. And if you think about it, with the president pulling off everything he's trying to pull off, if he gets it done, China is not going to be able to go into Taiwan.
Right.
It's strategic more than anything. And I can't say I'm against it.
No.
Yep.
No, I can't say I am either. But it doesn't fit the narrative that the mainstream media wants to push. So that is not what they're going to feed the American people. And we just have to understand that you need to go out and find your own information. It is out there.
Yep.
It is out there. Like I said, people, we're pirating ships. We're not pirating ships. We're collecting on a debt. If you or I welched on a court order, what would the government do to us? What would any government in the world do to us? They would seize our assets.
Yep.
Plain and simple. That's what's happened.
There's been so much happen and I'm sure you've already spoke to this, Mark. I didn't catch the very beginning of the show, but there's been so much happened since the last time we were on.
Oh, it's
I mean,
unreal.
every other day it seems like something new is hitting, something new is happening. I mean,
Yep.
it's hard to keep up with. It's hard to keep your mind straight. And as much as I hate to say it, I kind of enjoyed that break because I was able to check out for a bit.
Same.
And focus on my family and focus on other things I needed to focus on. But watching everything happen, I mean, and I think the biggest reaction is in my thoughts is like, I have never seen this before.
No,
I've never seen this before.
We are on the verge of a whole new, better world. If everything plays out optimally, it's going to go back to, I don't think it'll have ever been quite that good. Because if we start nipping some of this crap in the bud, things are going to get better in the world and therefore better here. Now, I will say, and our listeners, especially those of you who are in big cities, need to be prepared because I foresee at least some attempts at terror attacks to punish the evil Americans.
Yeah. I think that's coming from two sides, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at the extreme left as of what's happening right now. And I also think that it's going to come from the Islamicists, not the Muslims, the Islamicists.
Yeah, because they're different.
Exactly. Especially because of what's happening in Iran. I know you're wanting to head that way, so this may be a good segue.
We are heading that way, yeah.
Guys, full disclosure, I just came in because I want to join the conversation about Greenland. I'm not feeling
doing great.
Obviously,
you're doing great, but don't fool yourself either.
But I think that we're going to start seeing attacks on two fronts. I mean, if you look at what happened, was it yesterday with the guy out in L.A. in the U-Haul truck running through the crowd of people in support of Iran, I think we're going to see that on a larger scale.
I think we are.
And it may be cliche, but we're watching all these people on the extreme left that are up in arms in Minnesota. They're going to be made useful idiots.
Yeah.
They already are.
They already are.
That's how it all started, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. People aren't paying attention.
They need to. There's important things going on. What? Because we're getting started at the beginning of the Iran. I'm sorry. Well, I might have to mark this as an explicit episode. I am absolutely pissed that the mainstream media and the left are totally ignoring the historic stuff that's coming out of Iran right now.
Mm-hmm.
These people are trying to be free. They were conquered under the table with deception by the Islamicists. They are not a very religious people to begin with. And they have been murdered, raped, tortured for 47 years. They have suffered. And they've got little old grannies beating security people with their fucking walker, standing next to teenagers who just want to be free. But all these people over here who's been saying, oh, people have got to be free, blah, 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 blah. They're not saying a damn word.
No.
Irritates the dog poop out of
those old grannies remember what it was like before.
Yeah, when they wore
which,
bikinis to the beach. And
yeah, you can go on, anybody can out there, and I encourage you to do it, is go look up what Iran was like before
the
current
video
regime, back in the 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be a woman and you could be a doctor, a lawyer, a judge, a professional person. You could run a business. You could own property. Can't do any of that now.
Go to college wearing your mini skirt, your beehive hairdo, and looking like
look like my mom.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're under the age of 40 in Iran, you have no clue.
Yeah.
No clue as to what it was like. Because what was it, 79?
Fortunately, the Iranian people, they're not Arabs, for one thing.
Right.
They are Persians, and they have a long history of. I was talking to Enzo earlier. They actually codified for the first time ever in history. The ancient Persians codified civil rights and rights of women, and the Arabs just snuffed or tried to snuff that out. But you cannot keep a people who believe in freedom so much down forever. It's going to come back and bite you in the butt. You know, Ali Khamenei was a liar and a cheat. You know, this is the man who said we should rape women while they're prisoners so that when we execute them, they go to hell. You know,
Speaking of the Khomeini, I've been seeing a little bit of rumble on X that maybe they killed him. I don't
That
know.
would
I
be-
haven't
He's
been able to
already
verify
dead?
it. Yeah, I haven't.
I don't
seen
know.
the other night it pop up.
It's gotten crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true because of the blackout over there now.
Right.
But from what I've seeing on X, that they may have killed him.
Yeah, and then that's good. So let's go into what's going on in Iran right now. There's tens of thousands of, maybe hundreds of thousands of protesters in the street all across the country demanding that Khomeini step down, and a lot of them asking for the crown prince to come back and become the Shah, because they remember being free and they want to be free again. This is a good thing. The security forces in Iran have killed millions over the years, but have killed at least 2,000 people, firing live rounds into the crowds. You know, this is getting ugly. But they're not stopping, and some of the security forces are defecting and protecting the people. That's what they're supposed to do. Some of them are finally getting the clue and doing it. That gives me hope. I saw today in Washington, D.C., not protesters, the embassy of Iran hung the old flag, the lion and the sun, the old Iranian flag. That tells me a lot. When your embassy voluntarily changes the flag, something is up. This is a big deal.
Yeah,
Now-
it's bigger, I think, than any of us even realize, specifically for like that level of a change.
Yes, this
Where-
is going to be a big deal. This could change the Middle East forever.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
Because Iran used to be our friend. They used to be Israel's ally. And I think they will be again. I think if we don't do it, Israel is going to go in and clean it up. But this is the thing. We're going to go down a little bit of history that was brought to light by the BBC in 2016, I believe. So Jimmy Carter absolutely knew what was going on in Iran before the fall. He was in contact with Khomeini, and Khomeini promised him several things. One, they're still going to be our ally. They're going to sell us oil. They were going to be a humanitarian government, and they were going to be a democratic republic. None of those things came to pass. Jimmy Carter, bless his peanut picking heart, I think he was always an honest guy, but not cut out to be president. He believed him, and he was lied to, and we got the shit show over there and world terror out of the deal. And I think that's why he spent the rest of his life being a diplomat around the world for both us and for those who needed it, because I think he was trying to make up for what he understood was his biggest mistake, and that was Iran. He caused the whole Islamic terror thing. That was him. That was the United States. The United States made Iran the shithole it is today. It is the United States' moral obligation, moral duty to go in and fix it. We should have fixed it in the 80s. But right now we have an opportunity. We can go in and we can fix our F up right now and save these people and save the whole rest of the world a whole lot of heartache. But it is our fault. We need to fix it. Absolutely. 100%. No argument. Our mess, we need to clean it up.
I heard something today. There was a lady that was being interviewed from Iran, and it's kind of, I don't know, fortuitous. I don't know. But she said it's kind of weird to think about 47 years ago this happened, and now President number 47 is going to get us out of this.
Yeah. That's that's pretty interesting. And there goes his other lung.
Guys,
Poor
I hate to
Phil.
run, but I think I'm going to take off.
Man, I appreciate you jumping
say
on.
hi.
I hope
for
you get
stopping by,
better,
man.
man.
Yeah, I'm going to take it easy, I guess. But I will see everybody hopefully the next show.
Yeah, we're looking forward. We'll have our real return.
Right.
That's right.
But I just thought this was too important not to cover.
Yeah, no, I agree. Absolutely. Enzo, thanks for filling in for me, man.
Thanks for having me. It's
We
great.
should have him on more often. I
We do.
forget
Need
how
to have
smart
him.
this guy is.
Right. But guys, have
And
a
a
good
snappy
night.
dresser.
Yep.
Take it easy, Phil.
Yep.
Night, Phil.
See you, man.
So, all right. I think he's logging up. There he
There you
goes. There he goes. Thanks, Phil, for coming on. We really appreciate you. Anyway,
It's
that's
good to see him.
That's what I'm seeing in Iran. I mean, it's our mess. We need to clean it up. Or at the very least, support them when they clean it up themselves. And then we need to apologize. We need to apologize to the whole world that we caused this mess 47 years ago.
Yeah, and it's because no matter how you want to backtrack it, every radical terrorist group in that region
Comes
can
from
be
them.
tracked back to them by either training or supplies or even just cash.
Even Venezuela, Hezbollah, who was
Yep.
trained and supported by Iran, was training the Venezuelan military, specifically their cartel, in terror tactics and operational stuff. So, I mean, this all ties together. This all ties together. It's all connected, as we like to say on the paranormal show. But in geopolitics, everything really is all connected, and it's not even that hard to figure it out. Not really if you're paying attention. So, honestly, I am looking. I want to go on record as to saying I support the Iranian people. I am praying for their success on freeing themselves from tyranny. I apologize for any part my country may have played into causing this. And I hope the hell that you let us make it up to you. Growing up, as a kid and in college and later on in life, I have met a number of people whose parents fled Iran or were rescued from Iran. And honestly, and you know who you are, if you're listening to this show, if you actually hear this someday, I want you to know some of the nicest, kindest, most genuine people I have ever met. Honest to God. Super, super great people just to hang out with. You know, they don't deserve what they got.
No.
Nobody deserves that hellhole that they've been living in. And I hope to God that they're able to,
because it's not like it's the people there. It's not like Iraq, where Iraq was kind of socially depressed already, where they just didn't have a whole lot going on there. Iran, they have like a space program. They have launched their own satellites, things like that. They are advanced folks there. They are ready to join all the rest of us on the world stage, kind of a thing, right away. I think
when I
once
was
they get their internal
12,
straight up.
when I was 12, the best doctors, the best lawyers, and some of the best bioscientists in the world came out of Iran or were trained in Iran. Persians have a very deep history of science and art and philosophy.
Super proud of it too.
And they are super proud of it.
They will tell you.
they refuse to forget, no matter how much
Yes.
they're oppressed. And that's what we're seeing. They're remembering who they are.
Yep.
And they're tired of. They're done. They are done.
That's something we've been seeing a lot of the last couple of years, really, across the world. Is a lot of people are really tired of whatever situation then, and they're done.
Well,
They've had it. It's time for changes.
When you soft people create hard times. Hard times create hard people. And we're hitting that cycle. So absolutely my prayers to, and anybody who happens to listen to this in Iran, know that a good portion of the American people and people all over the world we're not going to be silent. We believe in you and we're praying for your success. Absolutely. So, that being said, I mean, I think we've covered everything. Just all the stuff I've been seeing, all the video that's been sneaking out. I am so proud of these people. I mean, they're not my people, but they are. They're humans.
Yeah, exactly.
They're human beings wanting something very human. They want freedom. They want to live free from oppression. They don't want to be tortured or shot just because they, believe something different. And it kills me. All these people on the, and I say it's on the left. There's some people on the right too that's just as bad. Oh my goodness. They're so oppressive against gays in the United States. We should be more like these people. Well, no, you don't want to be more like these people, because if you're gay or transsexual or whatever, and you go to that country, they will throw you off a building, they will set you on fire, and they will laugh. They do not like you. They will not live and let live. It won't be dirty looks. It won't be snide comments. It will be, let's see how much fun we can have killing these people in the most painful, god-awful way that we can imagine.
You've made their list. They don't view you as human.
Yeah, you're no longer human if you don't behave according to their standard. So they can do whatever they want to you. And it's fine. The law says it's fine. So, I mean, that's what it is to live in an Islamic state, not more of a jihadist state.
Yeah,
call it that, because I know Muslims. I know quite a few Muslims actually, and some of them I have gotten along famously with. And at
Dentist is a must.
least one I
He's
used to
great.
drink with, but I won't tell his mom.
Oh, can't
So,
do
I
that.
mean, so
Like most cases, it's the people that take it to the extremes that
I
kind of
mean,
ruin
we
it
get
for everybody
Christians
else.
like that here in the United States.
Exactly.
Are awful people. You're going to find awful people anywhere. It's part of the human condition. There are really good people, there's really awful people, and most everybody is in between. So you have that anyway. But when you give the awful people the ability to band together and just be awful and not have any repercussions, it turns out poorly. Doesn't matter whether they're what religion they are, or if they're a religion, or if they're socialists or capitalists or whatever. Awful people are going to be awful, and if they've got enough power, they can be awful without consequence. They're going to do it. There's got to be a balance.
Right. They're always the squeaky wheel. They're the ones that are going to get the most attention. Then you start clumping. Well, all of them must be like that, which usually is never the case.
It's never the case.
But it's having to deal with those folks without alienating
the rest of
other people. Yeah.
So I'm not going to diss any particular religion, because the thing is the human condition. Everybody is human, and you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna have really great ones and really awful ones and everything in between. That's why I like living in a republic, a representative republic, where we can try to keep the awfulness down as much as possible. We're trying to find a happy medium in the middle where everybody can coexist.
Yep.
That's the goal. But those of you who have put up with us tonight and our suppositions, and in my case, at least one rant. It wasn't a bad rant, was it? It would probably
not at all.
Do pray for all of these people. Pray for the people in our country. Pray for the Venezuelans. They need them. Pray for the Greenlanders that they get what they want. And for God's sake, pray for Iran and the whole Middle East. Because this literally, there's things going on right now that can change the whole world for the better. If it goes wrong, it can make it worse.
Any of those individual things could be world changing. All of them happening at the same time, it's going to be a whole new world that we can't barely conceive of how it's going to turn out.
Peace? When was the last time there was peace? I mean, there's always going to be war there, but it seems like my whole life there's always been something. Oh my God, going on someplace in the world. Just awful people being awful because they can.
Well, no matter what, there's still going to be, radicalized upstarts. But I think at the scale, if everything gets all smoothed out here over the next couple of years, where
it will go down,
it'll go down dramatically. It'll be like, that'll be like the off weird thing. It's like, what? Somebody threw a can through a window. That's so radical. We need to do something about it. It's so crazy.
Right. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I really think that if everything plays out correctly, even if one of these things plays out correctly, it could be a game changer. If all of these things play out properly, I think the world will be a much safer place, at least for a while. Because, as you know, it's people, things are going to change.
Yep.
That goes in cycles. It always does. The good follows the bad follows the good. Round and round we go. Where it stops, well, we ain't all going to live forever. So try to do good. Be good to your neighbor. Pray good things for your neighbor. And hopefully they'll do the same for you. With that, I don't have a whole lot more. What about you, Enzo?
I think we covered it.
I think
At
we
least,
covered it.
And everything that we just talked about could change 180 degrees 24
Tomorrow.
hours from now. It's
Yeah, everything could go to hell in a handbasket tomorrow or be done and over with. And our predictions, I hope our predictions are right for the good. I really need for humanity to get some wins.
I think humanity is due a new golden age.
I really think it is. And the aliens are tired of locking their doors on their way through the solar system.
That's right.
I mean, it's we're the bad neighborhood in the cosmos, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we are the rough part of the galaxy where you have to lock the doors when you fly by.
Yep, that's it. So I don't know what we're going to speak about in 2 weeks. I need to get a hold of Phil and talk about it. Hopefully it'll be a lot more fun than this. This episode I considered more of a necessity. It's going on. It could affect you for good or ill. So I thought we ought to talk about it. Next week on the Fringe, we're going to discuss foreign language syndrome. So there's a very scientific thing. We're going to talk a lot of science. And then, of course, because it's the Fringe, we're going to get a little crazy. So it should be a nice mix for everyone. I think it'll be an enjoyable show. I don't know how many people even know what foreign language syndrome is. For those of you who don't know, tune in next week. A little teaser is foreign language syndrome is when you suffer either a psychological or physical injury to your brain, and it apparently rewires itself to speak a language that you used to know or have heard enough for it to be recorded in your brain someplace. And in the very rare cases, may have never heard.
Never heard of it. Yeah, those are the ones I like.
Those are the weird ones, and those are probably going to be some of the ones we're going to chase down. It should be a really fun show. It should be really informative. And I've actually got the first 3 or 4 months of 2026 planned for shows. So
that hitting the ground running in 2026.
Well, I'm feeling a lot better. I've not been feeling well for several years now, and I've started losing weight. Started, my health's starting to improve. My knee's not hurting as bad, and I'm actually feeling like doing something. I'm actually able to concentrate a little better, and so things. At least hopefully the quality of our programming will improve. Because it's a little wishy-washy sometimes, especially when I'm involved.
I think you guys do a great job. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Well, the girls do a great job.
Believe me, I can't believe the amount of work they put into their stuff.
They're brilliant.
And it shows. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I will have you on again sometime if you're up for it. And if we come up with something that you're interested in jumping in on, I'll always send you a link.
Okay.
So, with that being said, I'd like to wish everybody a good night. And once again, prayers for our friends in Iran, Venezuela, and Greenland, and Minnesota too. I really hope that gets straightened out, because That's something else.
I got to be honest. I'm surprised it's still going on. I thought it would have petered out by now.
I thought there would have been more arrests, honestly.
I thought once all like those 4 or 5 different angles of the different videos of the girl, the lady in the getting, in her car. I thought when all of those came out to show almost a 360 view of how it all went down, that a lot of people would be like, "Oh, I see what happened now. I get it."
Yeah, I mean, that's going to straighten itself out. The sad thing is that guy, he's the same one a while back who got clobbered by a car and drugged. He should never have been put in that position again. He's still suffering PTSD from that, and somebody guns their car at him, even if it just looked like it was heading towards him. I understand the reaction, and from what I can tell, I mean, I'm not. It's not my decision to make. I'm not going to make a comment on it, but just knowing what he had gone through so recently,
to be back out there at all, to be honest,
that was actually a mistake. That was an HR mistake. He should not have been there.
Yeah,
I mean, God bless him for being out there and trying to do his job, but nah, he should have had a little more time off, I think. And this is just going to fuck him up worse. Pardon me. I am going to have to put an explicit on this.
Yeah.
It is. It is a tragedy, no matter how you look at it. But ain't nobody a winner on this. So, but it'll straighten itself out, and I don't need to make any comments on it. So, it's a tragedy, no matter how you look at it. So, all right, folks. Well, have a great night. Thanks for all of you who sat with us live, and for all of our listeners on Spreaker and all of our podcast providers. And we will see you again soon. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See if I remember how to run everything. It's been a while.